Good morning, my name is Jacob Folger and I am an artist and a sculptor, and today I'm going to show you how to make a fairy garden house. And we're going to get started right away. We're working here with polymer clay, and this brand is Sculpey 3. And this is the brand I use. I like it a lot. It comes in a lot of different colors, but I work in black because it's the black is the base color for a lot of the finishes I do. And I'm going to show you how to do one of those finishes today. And then you can also sculpt in different colors and finish it in different ways on your own if you like. We want to start off with kneading the clay. It's called conditioning. It gets all the ingredients of the polymer clay working properly. By doing that, you can do it until it's very, very pliable like this, like it is here, and kind of warm to the temperature of your hand, and that should be good. We're going to start off with rolling a ball. And part of the reason why I do this is it's just a really good starting point for this type of sculpture, this method of sculpting, I should say. And it also takes out all the imperfections and mars and fissures and cracks that might be in the clay when I'm first starting out. Then we're going to roll it to and fro like this, creating an oblong shape like that. And when we get it to about that length, we're going to take our fingers like this and squeeze gently, creating basically a rectangle or block. So it's almost the shape a tall house would have. You can easily form it by holding your fingers that way on that side, this way on this side, and just squeezing gently to form that shape. So it looks like that. Okay, now we're gonna take our two fingers and just shape it to a point at the top, so it's kind of like that. And what you want to do is, so you squeeze on one side to create that point, but then you squeeze on the other side too to keep it uniform going up. Okay, we're going to set that aside for a second, and we're going to get another piece of clay here, and we're going to roll a ball. And that's a starting point, and then we're going to roll it to and fro like this, creating a oblong shape or noodle in a way of kind of like a noodle. Kind of like that. And then we're going to take that and carefully just flatten it so it's about that thick, maybe a little flatter. This is going to be for the roof. And so it will look like that. Okay. Now we want to bring that sort of to a little bit overlapping, so that when the roof is on there, it's got an overhang to the front. You see that? It's kind of got an overhang to the front. And then just squeeze it into place. And remember, if you squeeze the sides, then you want to squeeze it front to back, so that it's uniform like that. if you apply a little extra pressure on it, you can bring that peak up to a sharper point, and you can actually bend it a little bit. Now we're kind of going towards creating that fairy, haphazard kind of fairy look that fairy houses have. And then just forming and shaping it a little bit. So it should look something like that. Now this of course is a baseline for you to jump off from to start creating in your own way, but this kind of gets you, gives you the feeling of at least how I create a fairy house. Now I want to show you something here. This is a piece of pastel chalk. It's got a square shape to it. I'll get another tool here. Okay. And if you take this square shape, and on one end, if you pick up one of these pastels, you can often go to art supply stores and just buy one. But you might want to buy a whole set, because you can actually use pastels to finish polymer clay. But that's probably another video. But what I want to try to do is make a tool that we can use to sculpt the windows, the window of the fairy house. So if you just shave off a little bit here, like that, with this X-Acto knife or a sharp knife, you can create a rectangle shape like that. See that? Just by shaving carefully, not to cut yourself, of course. Just by shaving a little bit like this. Or you might have a shape like that already on another tool somewhere, and you can use that. But sometimes we have to make our own tools, and I certainly do all the time, if I need them. Okay. Now once I have this, I can come up here and press it into the clay to create a window, and then press it again to create another window. And then again, and then again, like that. Okay, and then I can take this piece actually broke off just a while ago when I was preparing for this video, but you can, this is just a square, the square piece, and you can hold it right here and press down. Just give it some support or it might break. Like that. Whoops, we got some chalk in there. I'm just going to use a tool to get that chalk out of there. There we go. And so that's the shape we've got here for the door. Okay. And you can you also can shape it like you can shape the house part here. So you got the roof going that way, and you might want to twist it that way, or just kind of make it look interesting by just doing something like that. So if you want to get started right away and you didn't have the pastel to create a tool to do a window like that, what you can do is take the back of a paintbrush and create a little hole here for the window, and back here you can rock the back of the paintbrush like that back and forth to create the door. If you want to add another window, of course you can do that. Come down here and add a window there. See, that's very easy to do too. actually just started doing windows like this. I'm working on a series of videos of how to make fairy houses in different shapes and things, but they're fairly simple designs so that they don't take a long time to make. To kind of give you I call it a baseline, as you hear me say that a lot, a baseline for a jumping off point, to get you sculpting and enjoying the gifts that you have of creativity. Now, we might want to add a chimney here. I'll get a little bit of clay here, roll a ball, and then a noodle like that, so it's a little oblong shape. And you notice the shape of this is thin down here and bigger up here, and that's really good for fitting into what a chimney might look like on a fairy house. You know, just basically that kind of haphazard look. And then you can put it on top here like that, press it into place like that. And then you can also take a small paintbrush, the back part of it here, and put a little hole in the top of the chimney like that. So we got the roof kind of going off this way, the chimney going off that way, and the house kind of coming down like that. It's really actually pretty cute. Now, if you wanted this to stand up on its own, what you can do is create, set this back here for a minute, you can roll a ball, a piece of clay about this size, form it into like a little block. And you can add that to the bottom of the house. Like that. Now the house is likely to be able to stand up, and you could stand it up on your table or on your windowsill or a shelf, or a place at work or something like that. The other thing that you can do is you can take some craft wire. You can also use a straightened paper clip. If you've got something sharp enough to cut a coat hanger, you could use that. This is just 16 gauge craft wire, and you just cut yourself. This is what we're going to do here now, is we want to talk about pinning the house so it can stand up in the garden, or a potted plant or something like that. So that's what we're going into here. So I'll take a pair of wire cutters. You could use wire cutters. You could use scissors on this wire too. So we'll just cut a piece like that. Okay. And if you want to make it to stand up in the garden or a potted plant or something like that, you can stick it into the bottom here. And if you wanted that to be permanent like that, you would just lay it down when you bake it, and then when you take it out of the oven, you could just use it to stick in your garden. Or you could have the option of having it either pinned or not. And what you would do then is you take the pin and you move it around in the hole it's in, so that the pin can be put in or taken out like that. And then when you're all done with your smoothing and everything, so you're not pressing on the house anymore, then you make sure the hole is big enough for the pin to slide in and out easily. Take the pin out, take it out, and cook it like that. Okay, bake it like that. And then you would have the option of standing it up somewhere in your house or something like that, or putting the pin in and standing it up in your garden. So that's really kind of cool. Now let's just talk about finishing real quick. Now again, I told you I use black clay because I like it with my finishes. The product I use a lot is Pearl X Pigments. It's a powdered pigment. It comes in a wide variety of colors. Today I'm going to use bronze or gold, okay, and I'm just going to create kind of an antique finish, and the way I do that is I kind of dip my finger into the powder like that, and then once it's on my finger I just swirl it with my thumb a little bit like that, just to kind of get it, you know, fairly chilled out on my finger, and then I just basically highlight the house with my finger. I try to do this with my finger if I can, because it just looks better. And I'm not looking to make it all shiny gold, although I guess you could if you want to use a paintbrush or something like that. And so if you use a paintbrush, you could probably make it really bright gold. Pretty soon I'm going to have some videos on how to do other finishes, like using pastels and that sort of thing, for more lighter value, colorful finishes that people might like. This is just the finish I like. I've been doing my finishes on my sculpture for many years, and I just kind of like this look. So you may not like it, so we want to try to find something that you like. So there we go. And now to bake your little fairy house, you want to use a household oven. Preheat it to 275 degrees, and this is for Sculpey 3. That's the type of clay that I introduced to you for this project. If you have another brand of polymer clay that you're using, it may have a different cook time or bake time. But for Sculpey 3, preheat the oven at 275 degrees and bake it for 15 minutes per 1/4 inch of clay mass. So this little house is probably about a 1/2 inch thick at its widest point. So that means I would cook this house for a 1/2 an hour. Look at your house from all directions and make sure that the lines are smooth and flowing, and that it looks good. Any imperfections in it. When you're all done, that is when you take your pin. When you're all done basically handling the house, you take your pin, slide it in the bottom, and make sure that it can slide out in and out easily. Take the pin out, and then bake the house. The other thing is, for something this shape, and it's kind of, before it's cooked, it's a little bit flimsy. If you cook it while it's standing up like that, you might find that it'll bend or fall out of shape while it's cooking. So the best thing to do for a shape like this is lay it down to cook it, to bake it. And as far as a surface to bake it on, you'll probably want to use like a ceramic plate that doesn't have any texture on it, just like a dinner plate or something like that, and just lay it on there, and then go ahead and bake it. And that is how you make this kind of fairy house, and we're going to be doing some others in the near future. Again, my name is Jacob Folger. I'm a sculptor and artist. I really appreciate you watching. For those that subscribe, I really appreciate your support. Everyone really appreciate your support. If you like this kind of content, I have a lot of videos. Please subscribe to my channel. Please rate the video and comment if you like. If you have any questions, put them in the comment section. And if you have any ideas for videos that you'd like to see in the future, please also put that in the comment section. And thank you again, and have a great day.